Have you ever found yourself swept up in a sea of people, making choices you wouldn't normally make alone? Welcome to the hidden language of crowds, where individual thoughts dissolve into the powerful current of group dynamics. Let's journey into the heart of mass influence and uncover the secrets of group manipulation. When you think of crowds, you might imagine a bustling concert, a fervent protest, or a charged sports event. But what really goes on beneath the surface of these gatherings? At the core, crowds are not just a collection of individuals, but a living organism with its own psychology. Within a crowd, people experience a shift in behavior and consciousness. This phenomenon, known as de-individuation, weakens self-awareness and diminishes personal responsibility. In this state, people are more likely to conform to the behavior and emotions of the group. The driving force behind this transformation is anonymity. Within the relative safety of a crowd, individuals feel less accountable for their actions. This can lead to amplified emotions and behaviors, from the euphoric unity felt at a music festival to the dangers of mob violence. But it's not just anonymity at play, there's also a shared identity that emerges. People unite under common goals or emotions, and this unified identity can be easily manipulated. Throughout history, there have been countless instances where crowd manipulation has shaped the course of events. Take, for instance, the infamous Nuremberg rallies held by the Nazi Party. These rallies were masterclasses in psychological manipulation. Carefully crafted speeches, strategic use of symbols, and synchronized displays of power were all employed to evoke a sense of unity and purpose among attendees. The participants were not just passive observers, they became active participants in a shared belief system. Similarly, consider the 1989 Velvet Revolution in Czechoslovakia. This was a peaceful protest movement that used the power of crowds to bring about political change. Leaders of the revolution harnessed the energy of the masses through non-violent demonstrations, effectively challenging the oppressive regime. Here, the manipulation of crowd dynamics was used for positive change, showing that crowd influence is not inherently negative. These historical examples highlight the dual nature of crowd manipulation. It can be a tool for both coercion and liberation, depending on the intentions of those who wield it. But how are these crowds led without a single word being spoken? Enter the world of body language, the silent conductor of group influence. Subtle cues can direct the flow of a crowd just as effectively as any speech. A simple gesture can signal authority, while a strategic stance can project confidence or submission. Leaders in a crowd might use open body language, such as spreading their arms wide, to appear more welcoming and inclusive. In contrast, closing off the body or turning away can signal rejection or disinterest. Mirroring is another powerful tactic. By subtly mimicking the actions of those around them, leaders can create a sense of rapport and trust. This non-verbal communication fosters a deeper connection, making it easier to guide the crowd's behavior. Eye contact also plays a crucial role. A piercing gaze can challenge or intimidate, while a softer look might encourage and inspire. Even the positioning within a space can alter group dynamics. Standing at the center can signify control, drawing attention and focus. Alternatively, moving through a crowd can create an impression of accessibility and engagement, a tactic often employed by politicians and public speakers. Through these subtle signals, those adept in the language of body language can steer the collective behavior of a crowd without uttering a single word. The hidden language of crowds is a complex tapestry of psychological dynamics, historical tactics, and nonverbal cues. But why do we as individuals become so easily influenced when submerged in a group setting? In part, it's because of our innate psychological biases. Humans are inherently social creatures, and our brains are wired to conform and cooperate with others. This tendency is magnified in a crowd, where the instinct to belong can overshadow individual judgment. The bandwagon effect is a prime example. When we see others adopting a belief or behavior, we are more likely to follow suit. Our brains interpret popularity as a proxy for correctness, leading us to align with the majority. Social proof, another cognitive bias, operates similarly. It's the idea that if everyone else is doing it, it must be the right thing to do. This bias can be exploited to create a sense of urgency or legitimacy, nudging us toward decisions we might not make independently. Then there's the authority bias, our predisposition to follow those who appear to be in charge. In a crowd, someone with the right mix of confidence, poise, and nonverbal communication can project authority, swaying the collective actions of the group. These biases, deeply rooted in our psychology, make us instinctively susceptible to the hidden language of crowds. Understanding these dynamics is the first step in deciphering the spells cast by crowd manipulation. But what can we do with this knowledge? As we delve deeper into the psychological biases that predispose us to crowd influence, it's essential to consider the concept of herd mentality. This phenomenon describes how individuals in a crowd often forgo their critical thinking to follow the perceived collective wisdom. The comfort of not standing alone, and the fear of ostracism from the group can drive individuals to act in ways that diverge from their personal values. This is especially potent in situations where the stakes are high, and the perceived benefits of safety in numbers outweigh the risks of individual dissent. Furthermore, the diffusion of responsibility plays a crucial role in group settings. When a crowd acts, individual members may feel less accountable for the outcomes, convinced that responsibility is shared among the many. This can lead to actions that would typically provoke moral hesitation or legal repercussions if done alone. The psychological distance created by a crowd size allows for behaviors that might otherwise be suppressed by personal ethics or societal norms. But what happens when these psychological biases are harnessed in real-world applications? Across different contexts, crowd control tactics can yield both beneficial and detrimental outcomes. On the positive side, consider the realm of social movements and community activism. Leaders who skillfully guide crowds can galvanize the public to advocate for critical issues like climate change, civil rights, or public health. By leveraging the power of collective action, these movements can enact meaningful change that might be insurmountable for individuals acting alone. Campaigns built around shared values and goals often use symbols, chants, and slogans to create a sense of unity and purpose. These elements serve as rallying cries that strengthen group cohesion and empower participants. They tap into our need for connection and purpose, transforming individual contributions into a collective force capable of challenging the status quo. However, the same strategies can also be applied with more sinister intentions. The potential for manipulation exists when these tactics are used to incite violence, spread misinformation, or enforce oppressive regimes. Charismatic leaders might exploit the crowd's biases to instigate fear, hatred, or division, steering public perception and behavior toward harmful ends. History is rife with examples where the hidden language of crowds has been weaponized, resulting in devastating consequences for societies. Consider how marketing and media industries utilize crowd influence to mold consumer behavior. Advertisements often depict products being used by a large number of people, tapping into the bandwagon effect to suggest that popularity equates to quality. In the digital age, social media platforms amplify these tactics, with likes, shares, and viral trends serving as modern indicators of social proof. This can create a digital echo chamber where opinions and behaviors are reinforced and exaggerated, pushing individuals to conform to perceived norms. So, how can we protect ourselves from unwanted manipulation? The first line of defense is self-awareness. Recognizing our own biases and understanding the psychological mechanisms at play in groups can arm us against undue influence. By cultivating a habit of critical thinking and questioning the motivations behind group actions, we can better gauge when it's sensible to follow the crowd and when to stand apart. Mindfulness practices can also help. By staying grounded and attentive to our own values and beliefs, we maintain a clearer sense of identity within a crowd. This self-awareness acts as an anchor, preventing us from drifting too far from our personal ethical compass. Moreover, seeking diverse perspectives and engaging in dialogues outside our immediate circles can counteract the echo chamber effect, broadening our understanding and challenging groupthink. In conclusion, the hidden language of crowds wields significant power over human behavior. Whether for good or ill, the ability to influence a group hinges on understanding and leveraging deep-seated psychological biases. By becoming aware of these dynamics, we can not only protect ourselves from manipulation, but also harness the potential of collective action for positive change. As you navigate the currents of group influence, remember, awareness is your strongest ally. Thank you for joining us on this exploration of the hidden language of crowds. If you found these insights intriguing, don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the fascinating world of dark psychology and human behavior.